Hey guys, what's going on? So I am back. I'm just gonna call it day 3 because that's what it is on my paper. But we're gonna be going over perspective. In last video, I went over mindset and growth and fixed, and how to distinguish, or how at least I distinguished what I was able to do, how I was able to spot it, and what was kind of the triggers of me noticing it, and then me being able to cultivate the growth mindset to coincide with that, and then even just going as far as learning what they are, and then just different exercises to help with that. And then again, this is all tying into helping with a new sense of gratitude, which is very important because that ties into your mental health, which is the first step in cultivation, which is like in my cycle, which I'm going through and going over each piece. So today I'm going to be going over perspective, and the villains that we are covering in this entire series, again, is going to be the inflictions of self, self-doubt, negative self-worth, negative self-talk, negative self-sabotage, everything. And so, until I learned about perspective, everything seemed as though it was kind of picking on me. I just literally thought life was picking on me. I felt isolated by life. I wasn't open to possibilities. I always got lost thinking that I'd never have what others had, which was a very big problem because I kept comparing my life to other people's. And it opened my eyes to just figuring out what success truly means to me, enough to start to really begin to cultivate a small form of gratitude. So this is like what kind of moved the needle, and I was able to kind of cultivate a little bit more of a sense of what gratitude really was, because I was able to open myself to perspectives. And so I didn't even really know what negative self-talk was truly, until I gained a new perspective on it, because I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I didn't realize I was tearing myself down based on what I was telling myself internally. And I didn't realize that all kind of came from my own self-worth. Like I didn't feel like I was worthy, or like I could become worthy. So that's why I wasn't able to ever wield the power necessary to move myself upward. I was always dragging myself down because I was always adding extra weight on top of other things, and just doing things that were not in my best interest. And so that was just adding to my pain, really. And then I would just get so mad about it that I would resist all the pain. And what does that do? That creates more suffering. Pain multiplied by resistance equals suffering. And that which you resist persists. So the more I was resistant, the more it persisted. And then the more I was resisting the pain, the more suffering I was experiencing. And I get that suffering is part of the idea that it's suffering is passion and all that stuff, but this is just that real cold type of suffering, and then what I noticed was I had noticed that others with less had more spirit and abundance and happiness. And so that's what opened my eyes to seeing what was possible. Like, how could people that had less than me be more fulfilled inside and internally than I am? And that's what really kind of opened my eyes, because it was like, wow, like I am so ungrateful. That's where the gratitude, that's why it started to really, perpetuate my sense of what gratitude was, because I was like, man, like I'm actually being very ungrateful, because the people that have less than me love the fact that I have access to this, or love the fact that I have this and they don't. So it made me seem like an idiot, because I'm like, how can I not value this thing that is bringing somebody else so much happiness, and I'm just over here taking advantage of it? And I think that we as human beings do that a lot, because we tend to become ungrateful over a certain period of time. It's like we get tired of things, so then all of a sudden we grow ungrateful for them. We lose the value of what they are. But when we can hold on to that and keep our perspective, along with opening up our perspective to other people, it allows for you to form your own sense of truth within yourself. You know what you believe, and then you can really make decisive decisions about, okay, like, this is something that I believe in, this is something that I don't, this is something that I agree with, this is something I don't. But until that point, you're constantly closed-minded, and when you're closed-minded, you're not accepting help. There's no humility, so you definitely have no self-awareness in who you are at that point. So you're just kind of throwing different forms of leverage for the villains to kind of move you in the directions that they want, if that makes sense. And so my lack of belief really kept me in the dark of what overcoming really looked like. and my lack of perspective on that really made me feel like I couldn't overcome anything at all, because I didn't really understand what I was going through. Again, I didn't even realize I was talking to myself negatively. I just knew I was tearing myself down. But it wasn't until I raised my level of self-worth that I was able to be like, wow, like I'm totally bashing myself and being way too harsh on myself. And so the ways that, I was able to not only identify this, but work on it as well, is I started to view any setbacks as leverage. So, for example, my electricity went out for a day, and in that time, I developed basically this entire guide. I developed the entire basis for my story. I figured it all out. Everything came into clarity. And everything that, the way that I see it is everything that we go through, we can eventually grow through. And when we can do that, that creates a new tolerance. Much like our bodies, whenever we're working things out and we're making those micro tears and then you're recovering properly, you're growing your body, you're growing your muscles, and we're doing the exact same thing with our minds and our intellect and our consciousness every single time that we're doing that. And when we can keep practicing it, the easier it comes, the more habitual it becomes as well. So start seeing things as leverage, whatever they are. Even if it's like the worst thing that's happening in your life, try to see the positive in it and the opportunity. Start to take small adjustments towards your goals, because the smallest adjustments make the biggest impact. Small adjustment, big impact. Small adjustment, big impact. That's very important to understand. A lot of people don't think that they can handle these goals of losing 20, 30, even 100 pounds, but they can't even lose one, so how they expect to lose 100? You know what I mean? So it's all about the enjoyment of what you're doing within that process that's going to allow for the greatness to shine from within. And then just exposing yourself to as many processes as you can. That's one thing that really boosted all this, is when I was able to open my perspectives to what other people were doing and open myself to other people's routines, I was able to tailor my own and figure out what works for me, because then it's just trial and error at that point. And all of these different exercises, viewing things as leverage, making small adjustments, releasing the need for instant gratification, because it's both temporary and make-believe. Instant gratification is not real. Anything that is worth it is not easy, and anything that is easy is not worth it. I'm sure you've heard that before. It's totally true. And then exposing yourself to these perspectives allows for your tailored process to come through. And so in order to gain some perspective, guys, that's exactly what I did, and that's what helped me. And so if any of these help you, I really hope that they do. But again, this, along with a growth and a fixed mindset, a growth mindset, like not having a fixed one, but learning about them, and then having a growth mindset, along with cultivating a great perspective, are the first steps that you need to take in order to gain the new level of gratitude. And so the next one that I'm going to go over is going to be accountability. And once I go over that, I'll do an overview over everything and see how they all tie together. And so then by that time, hopefully by the end of next week or the week after, we'll have developed an entire new sense of gratitude, and it'll be easier for you guys to kind of point to these videos, so that you guys can see, like, okay, what am I not doing? Like, what am I not doing, and what can I continue to do to just be able to keep this going and keep the momentum building? Because what this is going to do is allow for the next step, which I'm going to go over in the next few weeks, is to create momentum. And how do we create momentum? Discipline, clarity, plan of attack. So I'll go over each one of those as well. If you guys learn anything from this, I really appreciate if you guys let me know or take any value. Please share, like the video, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on all social media, smartinez.iv. Like the page, the pra-network page. I'm going to be doing a group as soon as I get more people to like the page. But just taking this day by day, guys. And then my book is coming out soon, hopefully in June. And yeah, just very excited. I hope you guys took some value from this, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Hope you guys are, figuring things out and getting through your villains accordingly. So good vibes, and talk to you guys soon. Peace out.